Hello, fellow traders everywhere. Adam Hewison here, co-founder of Market Club, with your update for March 28th. And we're coming to you live from our summit in Utah. And I'm sorry you're not here. We had some great students, and they've picked some great stocks, which are actually doing very, very well today. But let's start, as always, with our portfolio and look at the markets as we're seeing them. First of all, we're looking at the S&P 500. As you can see, we have a long-term trend line that's in place. The market is on the downside today. We mentioned this yesterday, as we just had a little bit of a reversal yesterday. We're coming down today, but the market still is in a positive trend. All of our trade channels are in the green mode. So we expect this market to find support right around the 1400 level, give or take a few points either side of 1400. Looking at our next market, which is going to be the Dow, and you can see the Dow is also down, but we're getting back to an area of support. This key level of 13,000 is going to be a big, big number for the Dow to go through. We've gone from an overbought condition to sort of a midpoint, but generally speaking, all of our trade channels continue to be green. And is Wednesday. I expect Thursday and Friday we'll see this market actually start to go back up and close out the week on a positive note. So let's see how we go on that market. Looking at our next market, it's going to be the Nasdaq, which is also under pressure, but this market's done incredibly well for us. It was still plus 90. The trend is still intact despite today's pullback. It's not unlike the pullback we've seen earlier in the month, in February rather, and you can see the market's come back, and the trend is very clearly on the upside in these stocks. So don't get too enamored on the short side of the market. So let's take a look at our next market, and that's going to be the silver. Now remember, we talked about the silver yesterday. We were not anxious to follow this move up in the silver. We reversed back down. We're down again today, and I think this is going to be pretty much the pattern for the rest of the month. We're looking for a low to occur in silver towards the end of this month, and you can see we're just beginning to flatten out with the MACD. So I think as we break this down, we could, let me just get my telestrator on and I'll show you what we're looking at. Possibly we could be looking at something like this, where we just come down, and then sort of make a low towards the end of the month, somewhere like this. And I think we'll see how the market plays out. But generally speaking, this market has a little more work to do. We have a minus on the weekly and the daily. Only the monthly is up, and that's what makes me encouraged for the longer term on this market. So let's clear the screen and go to our next market. And the next market we're going to be looking at is going to be gold. Gold is a big one, and this is where everyone gets very emotional about this market. But generally speaking, gold, as we said, the 1700 level, which we outlined very clearly yesterday, is a definite resistance zone. We reached up very close to there yesterday, reversed back down. We're down again today. I think this is going to be a similar picture to silver. We make the low, we come back down, and as we come back down again, I think we've got to do a little bit more nesting to do in this market before we see a turn back up. But generally speaking, monthly and weekly still negative. Trend is down. We also see a little bit of a turn up in the MACD, so that's something to watch, but I'd like to see this market come back down here and make that turn. But I think longer term, we may be seeing this market make a reversal and go back up, but that's in the triangles. We'll watch those very carefully. So going to our next market. Next market we're going to be looking at is going to be copper. Copper, as we talked about, is an industrial metal. You can see this is a very choppy market with no direction, and that's really kind of shown in the trade triangles, because you've got a monthly trade triangle that's up and a weekly that's down, indicating a trading range type market. So really kind of confusing picture there. And if you look at the market, you just got a confusing picture here, just sort of going nowhere. Just a big, big, big energy field that's building. If we break out in the upside, and that's over 395 to 4, then I think we're going to see this market do much, much better. If we break below the lows around 370, then I think we'll see this market a little bit more on the defensive. But my odds are I'm going to go with a monthly trade triangles, which I think will push this market higher later on. So let's clear the screen, go to our next market. And the next market we're looking at is crude oil. Crude oil is under a lot of pressure today, but we're getting down to an area that has been recently good support for this market. And let me just show you what that is. If you look at the times we've been down towards these levels, just under 5, it seems to be very good support around the 104.50 to 105 level, and we seem to have resistance around the 108 level. So there you have it, 105 to 108. Kind of a choppy range here. But longer term, the monthly is still positive. The weekly is negative, but today we had some coordinated effort to push the market down with the release of strategic reserves out of Europe, and also some of the supplies came in a little bit bigger than normal. But generally speaking, this market still looks to us like it wants to go higher longer term. So let's see how it plays out. We are into a zone that has traditionally been a oversold zone in the Williams percent R, and I think we'll see a pop come in this market very carefully. One thing you want to watch and pay close attention to is the MACD, which is still in a bit of a negative mode, as it has been since it crossed over back in March 4. So I think what we're looking at is this market beginning to pick up and make that turn. But again, we want to see our weekly trade triangle kick up in the green, and that will only happen when we go over about the 108, 109 levels. So we'll watch that very carefully this week. But I think today, maybe tomorrow, we'll see this market reverse and go back up again. But we'll check that out. So let's go to our next market, and that next market is going to be the USO. We've talked about this. You can see this market is right down back into support, the lower end of its trading range. So I think that'll reverse. But looking at our next market, which is the Eurodollar, the Eurodollar is just hanging in there. We do have our trade triangles, the weekly and the daily up, but only the monthly is negative. So looking at the dollar index, you'll see just the inverse there, where you have the monthly that's up and the weekly and daily that's down. So generally speaking, it would have to favor the longer term monthly trade triangle. We are in a, probably we've seen a Fibonacci retracement level here, and let's just put that on the screen and just give me 1 second. So from here to here, we'll measure that down, and you can see we came into this Fibonacci zone. The 61.8% retracement is a support zone. We are oversold, so I would imagine we're going to see a little bounce in the dollar for the next few days. So let's see how that plays out. Next market we're looking at is going to be the Reuters Jefferies CRB index. That's under pressure today. We're getting back down to a support area very similar to what we saw when we had our weekly signal. Again, a mixed picture there, monthly up, weekly down. Not very clear. We're oversold, and the MACD is way over down the downside. We may see a reversal there, but generally speaking, I think it's a little bit of a choppy situation. If you go back out, we go back out in this stock, this market rather, and we see just how much this has gone nowhere, much to do about nothing, with resistance at 325 and support right around the 310 level. I think we're sort of in a trading range, and we'll have to watch this rather carefully. If we take out this support area, which is coming in right around these levels here, I think we could see probably some further downside pressure. But right now we're right at support, and we're oversold. So I think we'll see this support hold and possibly reverse. So clearing the screen, going to our next market. Next market is a company called Medco. Let me just clear that up 1 second. Yep, that's Medco. That's one of today's big movers, and that's a plus 100. Now, with the stock market's down, but Medco actually moved up to its highest levels in quite some time. As you can see, the trade triangles picked this up quite some time ago, around 64 rather, on the weekly, and on the monthly at 58. So the trend continues very positive for this market, and we expect it to do better. So let's go to our next market, and the next market we're looking at is going to be Tyco. TYC is the symbol. Again, big mover there. Again, the trade triangles caught this market. Plus 100, looks like the trend is your friend, will continue down. I think the only reason we're seeing a little bit of profit taking in this market is because the stock market is generally down for the day. But generally speaking, the trend is very clear, and we've seen a nice upward move. Now we're going to go to our next market, which is Pulte. We actually talked about this at the summit today. One of our students picked this up, and it's actually doing very, very well today. It's trading at 931. It's up about 3 or 4% for the day. Actually, I'll tell you exactly. It's up 2.7% rather, but it's a very positive move. Now, if we continue up here, we want to see, we're talking about taking out this level here, which is the 935 level. We're very close to that level today. If we go over there and close over that level, I think we're going to challenge the highs and possibly go higher. But a nice call by one of our students today. So generally speaking, all the trade triangles are positive, and we expect this market to continue on its upward trend. We've got a very clear trend line that we can draw in this market from the lows here, and I think that's going to be the key to this market continuing to go high. So That's the key level to look at, the trend line. If we go below the trend line, then obviously all bets are off. But for the moment, the trend is your friend, and all of our trade triangles are green. So this is Adam Hewison coming to you live from Utah, from the Market Club Summit. Sorry you can't make it, but next time. I'll talk to you tomorrow, same time, same place. So have a great trading day.